That's hot.
Hey, what's going on, everybody? For First We Feast, I'm Sean Evans, and you're watching Hot Ones. It's the show with hot questions and even hotter wings. And today I'm joined by the patron saint of First We Feast, Guy Fieri. He owns 9 restaurants, has 3 hit TV shows, and 6 best-selling cookbooks. And speaking of, you can pick up his latest, Guy Fieri Family Food, available now. Guy, welcome to the show.
It's quite an intro. You got Fieri right.
They do the R on it all the time.
They get it wrong every time. You knocked it out of the park.
I'll pat myself on the back for that. How are you with hot food?
I'm not an extreme hot guy, but I do like good spice, and I think that we don't have enough spice in our food. I mean, I know a couple of these down here on the end just turned to the point where you're just dissolving taste buds.
Yep.
But I do appreciate that it's out there and people have it. But this is my realm right in here, probably up to this ghost pepper blueberry. I'll drink it up. Oh yeah, sriracha is one of my favorite. That's not a bad wing.
Diners, drive-ins, and dives, it's been going strong for 22 seasons, so I think that it's only fair for the Triple D fans that I hit you with a quick rapid fire on Wing 1. What's one thing that all successful restaurant owners have in common?
They serve food. Really good food. If you're gonna be in the business, you gotta love what you're doing. Otherwise, you're never gonna get the return on investment, not for time and energy.
If you could have any co-host, living or dead, to sit shotgun with you in the Camaro, who would it be?
Rodney Dangerfield. I think Rodney Dangerfield is one of my favorite comedians in the whole world. Funny guy, quick-witted guy. A lot of what goes on, very similar to what I was watching in your show, is you got to be able to listen to what you're told and react from it. Someone like Rodney Dangerfield, in my opinion, would be able to pick up on that rhythm because it's hot and fast.
And then dovetailing off that for a second, what's the key to opening up sort of an awkward chef or an awkward restaurant owner before the cameras start rolling?
Serve them mediocre wings from a pizza joint down the street that was purchased by the camera guy 3 hours ago and sit them in a room and tell them they can't wear black. I don't know. I mean, just make them feel welcome.
So I want to talk to you about your Bay Area sports affiliations for a second. I know that you're Raider Nation to the core, but I want to talk to you about the Golden State Warriors for a second.
I had my hat on this morning.
And this might blow some people's minds, but is it true that you played a small behind-the-scenes role and helped bring in Kevin Durant over to the team?
I don't know about that. I do know that we're huge KD fans. When this got ready to happen and we were talking about it, I knew his contract was coming up, and I know KD's manager and I know KD. I just kind of threw a little text out saying, hey, this would be awesome. I mean, never in a million years did I think this would ever take place. The energy between that team the way it is, and with KD's performances, his abilities and all these, it's just the perfect fit. It ends up hitting, someone starts quoting that I was involved in it, and I think there was a tweet that was sent out from the Warriors, something along the fact that I'm the secret weapon. So we'll see. When we win this year, we'll see if I get a ring. I've met Steph quite a few times, because Aisha's
now the Food Network family.
She's doing great in the Food Network. She's been a judge for me on Guys Grocery Games. And I have the greatest Steph story in the world. Steph came to watch Aisha when she was on Guys Grocery Games her first time. And sitting right next to him is Ryder. Maybe somebody pulled their kid out of school to come down and sit next to Steph Curry. I don't know who would have done something that ridiculous. So he sat there. And as we go to commercial break, I keep looking over, and Ryder's now sitting next to him, and they're comparing things on the phone, and like this. And Steph walks up to me at the end of the shoot and goes, "Hey, what's your address?" And I said, "Why? What's up?" And he goes, "Send the kids some shoes." What Steph didn't know is that I had been working the back channels with Under Armour trying to get shoes for Ryder for Christmas. I mean, been working it, trying to get these shoes before Christmas. A day later, the shoes show up from Steph. I was going to ask you if we could just start hot, but
that's a mistake. We've had one guest do that.
Who?
Eddie Wong.
Did he die?
Pretty close. So we had your buddy Rachel Ray on the show, and she gave me some catchphrase pointers, but you're the king of the catchphrase, so much so, in fact, that you've almost developed a sort of restaurant language. So what I want to do is bounce some of the most quotable, head-scratching Fieri-isms off you, and you can tell me what the hell they mean or where the hell they came from and kind of give the backstory. Sound good?
I think people pick up on it more than I mean to say it, because I don't really listen to what I say. It's like Flavortown. people come up and bring these, like, Flavortown, I'm the mayor of Flavortown. I'm like, okay, wow, I didn't even get it at first. I was hearing it, and then Chico, one of our main camera guy on Triple D, he says, Flavortown, you said it in the show. And I said, oh, really? Oh, okay.
Put it on a flip-flop.
Put it on a flip-flop. What I was trying to do is paint the picture that this is so phenomenal, this thing that I'm eating, that I could put it on this napkin and eat it. Well, put it on a napkin and eat it doesn't sound, that's not very funny. But what would be the worst thing you could put it on? Put it on your shoe. I happened to be wearing a flip-flop that day. So I put it on a flip-flop and eat it.
Festival of Funk.
When you ever been on stage, next to a stage, and you watch a group of musicians just tearing it up, and it's got funk, and it's got jam, and it's got attitude, it's got energy, it's got, all those pieces, well, when that's combined on a plate, that's a festival of funk. How did you pick the sauces?
So we tried to make it kind of like a symphony, you know what I mean? So like, how peppers
So you're making a festival of funk.
It's a total festival of funk here.
The hierarchy of heat.
Yeah, oh man, Guy.
Come on,
wow.
Just take it. Get on that bike and ride it.
Get
on that bike and ride it.
So you're one of the few food personalities that not only has this TV fame, but you also have this ubiquitous internet fame. I'm sure that you have some fans that know you from Guy's Grocery Games, but then there's a whole younger set that knows you as this sort of fabled Twitter legend. Are you aware of your sort of position in this space as this meme god? Do your kids ever show you?
It's the weirdest thing in the world. It cracks me up. My son Hunter, who's 20, almost 21, he'll send them to me. And send the good ones. I said, come on, kid, don't waste my time. See the porcupine one? Mm-hmm. The little baby porcupine?
That's one of your favorites?
It's hysterical. There's the Angels. There's the Pablo Escobar.
Let me ask you about one thing, because it's kind of this fabled Vine where you're signing a lean cuisine and then you're tossing it out to the crowd. Do you remember that moment?
I don't believe that's true.
That's on video.
I don't believe so. I don't know. I know the event.
Yeah.
I know the event because we were doing an event for Miller Lite in Michigan, and it was at the end of this crazy cooking competition. I don't know exactly how the cooking competition was put together. And I remember walking over to the producer of the competition. I said, are these folks going in? They just came down for this event. And I said, well, what are you gonna do with all this food? I mean, there was thousands of dollars worth of food there. If you've seen the video, I haven't seen the video. So I've heard the question. I've had people ask me if they could send me a lean cuisine and if I would sign it. All I remember is I signed a couple fat hams. I signed some bottles of Mario Batali tomato sauce. We were giving out all kinds of stuff. I mean, do you want to promote it properly? I mean, do we Vanna White that or anything? Huh? What do you think?
Wow.
You can't use that because I haven't signed. No, I'm just kidding. That's your guys' sauce?
This is
I
our
like
sauce.
The packaging.
Okay, that's good. That's important to me.
The packaging is nice. I think you could give it a little pop in the middle. You could give that. You could light that rooster up.
Yeah. You know what though? On the printing though, it's a little. We're small budget over here, Guy.
Yeah.
So we have a recurring segment on our show called Explain That Graham, and what we do is we do a deep dive on our guest's Instagram, pull interesting pictures that need more context. And with Guy Fieri, we have a theme. It's Guy with rappers. So I'll show you pictures of Guy Fieri with rappers, and you can tell me the bigger story. Does that sound good?
You know this was going?
Please.
These are the best. That's my brother. That dude.
Snoop's your brother.
Snoop is the best. You want to talk about legit street cred with your kid? So we were at Coachella 2 years ago. Walked into Snoop's trailer and Snoop's got, it's tons of people inside the trailer. And he stops everything he's doing and he goes, "It's my man Guy." And I'm like, and Hunter's standing right by me, and Hunter hadn't met him before, and Hunter's just facing. And I'm like, it was just a little father, because Hunter and I have a pretty good little rivalry going.
You gotta let him know sometimes.
I just had to make sure he was, representing it.
Guy in action, Bronson.
Bronson's the best, man. Before I met him, people said, hey, there's this guy that's doing this thing. And, it's kind of like about what you're doing. And it could be taken like he's either giving you a hard time or he's a fan or he's both or whatever. And I'm like, okay, let me see it. I'm like, I love this guy. This guy's hysterical. I told him, I said, maybe when I retire, trim it up a little bit and, throw a little bleach on it. I'll kick down the shirts.
I have one more for you, because you've got a shout out in that Drake song, 6 Man.
I mean, the story that I'll tell you about meeting Drake is probably one of the most grounding things ever. I mean, this is 2 a.m. I was there in Toronto shooting Triple D. He's sitting there just having dinner in a dining room at the building that he lived in. It's his security. We're big fans of Triple D. And so we just sat there and just got to have this thing. And I was telling him about my nephew. I lost my sister to cancer 6 years ago. And my nephew is a huge Drake fan. And so I'm telling Drake just about this story. And he's listening, and he goes, hang on a second, man. He leaves, and I don't know where he goes. And he comes back and he brings me down some Drake swag and a sweatshirt and just a couple t-shirts and stuff. He goes, I want you to give this to Jules. Well, now what do? I said, you just gave me this phenomenal gift for my nephew, which I gave to him, when I got home, and Jules lost it. And the sweatshirt was like 5 times too big for him. Jules
doesn't matter.
Kid. He's rolling that. He's rolling that Drake sweatshirt, with the logo on the front. But so we started talking. He says, I love food and I love cooking. I said, let's do it. I said, well, let's get in the kitchen. Well, it's maybe 1, 2 a.m. And the guys are just finishing up from service, and the chef comes out and says, you 2 want to cook in my kitchen? He says, let's go. So they just gave us full run of the kitchen, got a chef coach, we got into it. And I'm gonna tell you something, I understand, Drake is beyond mega super talented, but as I gave him just simple little things to do in the kitchen, he just nailed it. All right, I mean to clean the bottle up for you. Let me sign this one?
Yes.
Throw it out to the crowd?
Yeah.
What is this?
This is a ghost pepper and blueberry sauce from Bravado Spice Co.
Okay. And ghost peppers, I think ghost pepper gets a lot of play. It's like so exciting that you're gonna have ghost peppers. I don't know.
So I want to talk to you about wine for a second, because in addition to owning a vineyard, I know that you've launched.
Are you giving me a hard time that I didn't bring you a bottle?
Yeah, it's a little.
Is that kind of what this was?
It's a little rude.
Reed's gonna go down to the car right now. So let's talk about wine.
If you're gonna choose your own adventure, okay, and you have a bottle of Sammy Hagar's Wabo Cabo, and you have a bottle of the Hunt and Rides Old Vine Zinfandel, where is each one of those going? If you're a choose your own adventure with the bottle.
When it goes to that Cabo Wabo or to Sammy's Beach Bar rum, it's not small batch that it's just made a couple bottles of, but it's with a lot of time and attention and care. So it's not a margarita. It's a little bit more of a classy hangout where you're enjoying it on the rocks. No salt and lime and all that bullshit. We love wine in my house. My parents love wine. My wife loves wine. I love wine. Made wines that we like to drink. I will tell you this, you won't have just 1 bottle of Hunt Rides In. It'll be 2, and it'll be friends, and it'll be more friends. And friends don't leave. When you start opening wine like that, friends don't leave.
The night carries on.
The night carries on. And the great thing is, I think great wine gives great stories. And as you can't tell, I don't like to tell stories. Okay, now it's starting to warm up a bit. Still, I'm not bullshitting you, bro. Still, your sauce is leading. I'm not being serious. This was not a deal. I didn't even know it was yours. No, if the assistant had, or the gentleman that brought us up from down on the street, which was shady. Yeah. What's going on with that, bro? I pull up in a car and there's a dude standing there with a Hot Ones t-shirt on, and I'm like, "Are you the guy?" And he's like, "Yeah, guy." And come on, and we walk upstairs and we ride the. And I'm like, "This is how it goes."
Yeah,
goes, yeah.
That's the Hot Ones red carpet experience.
That's how we do it, right there by the guy with the shopping cart. It was awesome. It was really awesome.
So I have an unhealthy reliance on carryout, and as our fans know, I have 0 kitchen skills, but I would like to get better. So I'm hoping now I can bounce some common bachelor lifestyle cooking quandaries off you, and you can kind of give me some tips, guy style.
Is this? We call this the penguin.
I have lots of different things. The commenters
I have
are
the
very
one-liners,
much like
and then you have the.
I have like the
hand moves.
hands.
And can we put that to music? Could you guys break that down for me? Just I think there's.
We do. We'll have
there's a video there.
So, tradition around here to dab, 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 dab. This camera, that camera. Let the people know. Hot question, hot of lane. Sir.
Okay.
Can you give me an easy to make dip that'll impress at the Super Bowl party?
Queso dip. Good cheese dip. If you're gonna do a Super Bowl party, you're gonna make one item, you're bringing it over and you wanna wow your friends. Get some tortillas, 350-degree oil, fry your chips when they come out hot, hit them with a little salt, seasoned salt if you want, you're good to go. We're gonna start off first with sweating some peppers, some jalapenos, get some poblanos in there, you wanna get some Anaheims. We kind of mix these peppers in, onions, a little bit of garlic. Then when that mixture is going, then we'll add our flour. We're gonna take a little bit of flour, a little bit of butter, make a basic roux, add a little bit of milk, and really just kind of create a base to melt that cheese in, okay? So now we've got some peppers, we've got some onions, we've got some garlic, we've got a little bit of heat inside of this. We're gonna add that roux. That roux starts to come together. We add a little bit of milk, building that bechamel. Now we start to throw in the shredded cheese. And always shred the cheese yourself if you can. I mean, you buy the shredded stuff and they gotta put something on the outside of it to keep it from coagulating and it dries it out to test. So just get yourself a block of nice cheese that you like, a nice sharp cheddar, something along those lines. You shred that cheese and just slowly drop that in and kind of give that a little stir. Now you can go anywhere you want with it. You can season it with a little cumin, you get a little paprika, you get a little cayenne, you get a little chili powder, and you can start to develop this. So as that's starting to work, over on the side, chop up some tomato, Roma, some cilantro, a little bit of onion, a little bit of lemon juice, make yourself a little pico de gallo on the side, a little touch of jalapeno as well. And maybe you hit a little beer in there too when you're putting this together. Just to listen, here's the great thing about it. As long as you make your roux right, and as long as you don't burn it, and as long as you don't add the cheese too fast, you got yourself a pretty dynamite queso dip right there. And you can start fortifying, you can blow it up with this stuff. Okay?
Kicking it up.
A little bit of sting in that.
So I want to talk about your style for a second, because I know that you've taken exception to people who think that this is some TV lab situation. Bowling shirts versus Hawaiian shirts. Which direction do you go, or is it impossible to choose?
Okay, let's get shit straight. The bowling shirt thing, I don't know where it came from. I'm not a real big dress-up guy, kind of what you see is what you get. When we got the pilot deal for Triple D, that's still giving me a little sting in the back of the throat. But when I got the pilot for Triple D, they said bring a collared shirt. So I had a Dickies work shirt. And it was blue with a gray panel in the front of it. And so that's what I put on. And whoever started doing the wardrobe started bringing those kind of shirts around. And that's what they started putting on me. And then this whole bowling shirt, and then people are mailing me bowling shirts with my face on them and cars on them and my name on them. I'm like, where did this go? You know, and people are like, you're not wearing the shirt that I gave you. I'm like, I gotta wear those shirts.
This one is Mad Dog 357.
Okay.
It is our second hottest hot sauce.
It's our second hottest. What's Scoville on this?
Mad Dog kind of does a double entendre thing. You know, have like the 357, like the gun, sort of reference, but then
The 357,000
Scoville
awesome.
units.
That's awesome. Got a little eyeball sweat going.
They look great. So now that I have the People's Tastemaker in front of me, I want to play a game of One Gotta Go, Fieri edition. I'll give you 3 options and you tell me which one you're kicking to the curb. Does that sound good?
Okay.
Burgers, In-N-Out, Shake Shack, Steak and Shake.
You know, respectively, they've all got their place. Steak and Shake, all over the country. More people probably had that than they've had either of the other two. Shake Shack, an institution. In-N-Out, an institution. I'd have to say Steak and Shake.
Vegetables, kale, Swiss chard, Brussels sprouts.
Swiss chard is awesome, and there's a lot you can do with it, but I'll kick it to the curb.
Pizza, thin crust, deep dish, or Neapolitan.
Oh, deep dish is gone. It doesn't matter if I don't even just cross it off. I'm not into the deep dish. I mean, that's bread with stuff on it. My favorite food city is Chicago. I love Chicago. Chicago has got such a melting pot of great food. Without question, some of the best.
But the deep dish?
Too spongy, doughy.
Appetizers, nachos, tots, or queso dip.
Oh, come on.
It's a tough one.
It's like, who do you love more, Hunter or Ryder?
We have 1 wing to go and 1 hot sauce to go. This is Blair's Mega Death Sauce with Liquid Rage. It's tradition around here to put a little extra dab on the last wing.
So a little dabble, do ya?
Little dabble, do ya? Little dabble, do ya? You don't have to if you don't want to. I know you have a meeting after this.
Oh, this is gonna be great. Everybody's gonna sit there and experience this. Liquid Rage.
Liquid Rage.
Okay.
All right, that's generous. That's generous. Okay.
Yeah. I'm hot. How did Rage do?
Rage killed it. Rage killed it.
She's a gangster.
She's gangster.
I mean, let me tell you something.
She was like just doing them straight off of a spoon and stuff. She's crazy. Crazy.
Oh, so you didn't have good wings for her.
She had like very high, like she's like a brine, da da da, like at all.
Yeah, exactly.
Like, all right, Rachel.
And they didn't get it. You got mine from down the street at some
It's not easy to get wings in LA at 10 in the morning.
No, because you got them last night.
No, we didn't. We got them this morning, right? Only the best for Guy
That
Fieri.
guy looks shady. That's hot. Mm-hmm. Yeah. That's
dumb.
Yeah.
All right, Guy Fieri, as we've talked about already, there's a lot to celebrate about Guy, but as we all know, heavy is the head that wears the crown. I do wonder, while you're dying on the Blair's Mega Death Sauce with Liquid Rage, what do you say to the think piece writers, the culinary know-it-alls, who think that it's all bleached hair and no sauce? What do you say to the naysayers out there, Guy Fieri?
I really don't give a shit. I mean, it's not that people don't have their opinion. I think everybody should have their opinion, but I really don't get too tied up with it. If my mom walks up to me and says, hey, by the way, don't ever wear that shirt again on the show. All right?
No more shirt.
I got you. If my manager Reed comes and says, hey, by the way, you shouldn't have said that on that, I'll listen to what he has to say. I mean, have I ever been annoyed by something? Without question, I'm human, I'm just like anybody else. But do I let it get in the way of my day? Not at all.
You don't let that get in the way of your day, and you don't let scorching hot chicken wings get in the way of your day either, Guy Fieri. This camera, or this camera. Let the people know what you have going on in your life.
When I get a chance to have my soapbox to stand on for a second, that's what I like to say. This food revolution that's happening right now, that we're all getting a chance to participate in, that you're doing a great job of representing in a very sadistic way. Teach your kids to cook. Teach them how to cook. We went through all these generations of kids that we were in processed foods and drive-thrus and all this, and nothing against restaurants. I'm in the restaurant business, but we need to have a time and a place, and we need to teach kids the core fundamentals of cooking. It's a life skill. Put down the cell phone, come in the kitchen, let's work together on cutting the onion and making the queso dip. Right now, kids have got a tough situation, so teach your kids to cook. What do you think? That was great, man. You do a great job. You're very engaging. By the way, for the record, no water, no milk.
Whoa. Hey, what's going on, Hot Ones fans? If you liked the video, maybe meet us halfway. Throw us a subscribe. If you didn't like the video, don't subscribe. I don't want you. I don't want you in the tent. But if you like the video, subscribe. Thank you very much. I appreciate you. I love you. More than a friend.